the meat.
Welcome back from the break. This is Mostly Superheroes. Back here in the studio, nerding out about the MCU. That's the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which has just exploded all over all of us for every single day. It seems like at this point there's new stuff coming out, new shows, new series, over 30-plus titles, over 20-plus movies. And there's a character out there that you might have heard of, played by Chris Hemsworth. It's called Thor, and he has been in now his fourth solo appearance. This is his fourth Thor film. It's a record.
Yeah.
In terms of Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Yes, he's the first one to get his fourth film and has made, I thought it was 10 appearances.
That sounds about right. Marvel just eclipsed 100 hours of total content. So if you're just getting involved,
that's only for Phase 4.
And that's 100
Phase
hours.
4, I think, is 100, right?
No, that's in total.
That's
okay.
everything.
You do the quick math on that. Chris Hemsworth, he's got like 25% of those hours in there. He's in all these films, the Thors, the Age of Ultron, all the Avengers films, and everything in between. And hopefully we'll see a lot more of them. But today, spoiler alert right now for Thor: Love and Thunder. Huge help from IMDbPro.com. That's right. We're using that pro account, and it is really doing us well. It's giving us all the news. We're going to be sharing that with you here on Twitch. If you're following us live in the show, you actually get a little sneak peek at some stuff that's not even in the normal live show from day to day. We got some screen sharing happening from IMDb Pro, and we're going to tell you about who made it. First of all, Taika Waititi is back. They brought in Taika for Thor Ragnarok, made it one of the most fun movies, changed a lot about how they were handling Thor, the character, went more of a comedy feel, which we loved. It was electric. It was 80s feeling, and this movie is right back, and you can feel Taika throughout the whole thing. Writers on this thing is Taika Waititi as well, also with Jennifer, help me with those names there, Andy. Jennifer Kaylin Robinson. Also, Marvel Comics writers, of course, R.I.P. Stan Lee. Along with, who is that last one?
Jason
Aaron.
That's right.
This is why they took this story from his run in the comics.
Yes. And still around, still doing stuff?
Yeah, for sure.
Very much.
This is a modern story.
Yeah.
So this probably came out like 12 years ago, I would say.
That's pretty cool.
It's a really, really good run.
And it's a current run. You don't like it's a lot of the things you see that are pulled out from 40, 50 years ago, which is cool. It's like seeing some of the newer stuff come in is cool.
Isn't it the run of Mighty Thor?
Yeah. That
Jane
plus
Foster,
that, yes.
Producers on this, we have
just Kevin Feige.
Well, and
Brad Winderbaum.
Of course, Kevin Feige, of course, at the helm. Composed by Michael Giacchino, you might know from Lost, and many other things. You can hear his vibe throughout this whole thing, and it's awesome. And looking at the numbers, this thing's doing just okay. We have a movie-ometer now, the movie meter. You guys see that?
Yeah.
This is a number I want us to start tracking because I don't really know exactly what it means. It's at a 2. I'm like, I don't know what that means for my IMDb.
It's a ranking, maybe number 2 of all of them?
It has something to do with how it's like doing in terms of trending, and then there's also news articles. So you can see since the movie came out or since it's been around, they've been mentioned in over 1,500 articles, which, I mean, gives you kind of an idea
makes
of,
sense.
Yeah, publication-wise, you kind of get a sense of who's talking about it. Budget, $250 million. I don't have the budget off the top of my head for the first Thor movie, but I want to say it was like around 140 million.
Yeah.
So here we are, 10 years later, and getting doubled the price, looking okay. Opening weekend, $146 million. And to date, this was earlier today on July. Actually, this says as of July 11th, doesn't it, Andy?
Yeah.
But I looked at this screenshot is from today, though, is what I'm saying.
Might take a couple days to get the
I
data.
think they report everything on Monday, I think.
That must be it.
Yeah.
So as of Monday, $156 million in U.S. and Canada, 315?
Yep.
$315 million gross worldwide at the box office. Doing just fine, I guess. What do you guys think about those numbers? What do you think when you hear that box office? It's like, okay.
That's exactly what I would expect.
It made $300 million in 5 days.
I don't think this is making $1 billion.
It's going to slow down.
I think it's going to slow down. I think it'll go past 500 for sure, but I don't know if it gets to 700.
What's coming out next? That's usually the thing that really derails.
It's,
that's what I'm trying to think. What the
Black
next
Panther in November, so it's got a while.
As far as Marvel goes, it's Black Panther.
Yeah, but what's the? I mean, we're getting towards the end of the big summer push. You're past 4th of July now.
True.
So I'm just wondering like what dethrones it, the
And-
next couple. I think in like Super Pets coming out. I keep
Yeah,
getting
Super
I
Pets
keep
is
getting
in a
ads for
couple
that.
Weeks, I think.
Super
That's
Pets
what happens when you
episode
follow The
coming soon.
Rock. on
Ready to meet
Instagram.
Batman's dog.
Yeah, not
Uh,
excited about it, but I could see that.
Kids are excited.
And yeah, that's a big gap between movies for sure. So, but also it will probably be on Disney Plus in 45 days, like
Yeah.
Doctor Strange anyway. So
Yeah.
kind of doesn't matter.
And it was going up against a Minions movie, which like not my thing, but that
And
is
we
definitely
If you're competing
does
for
well,
families,
So
Right.
families with
Yeah.
young kids,
Still competing with
Well,
Maverick.
yeah.
Maverick is still making money.
Yep.
Maverick's still up there. I mean, it's what you might know the number right now. Is it over? It's over $1 billion.
Oh, it's over $1 billion for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Like I was saying earlier, I think it just passed Titanic for
Oh.
total gross. So
Right.
which was a huge landmark,
Yeah.
That it hit.
spot for a lot of folks.
Yeah.
A lot of movies for a long time.
There was a Glacier joke in there. I snuck in. Nobody heard. But
Oh, man.
cast of this movie: Thor: Love and Thunder. Chris Hemsworth coming back as Thor. Natalie Portman back again as Jane Foster. Christian Bale making his MCU appearance. Tessa Thompson coming back. Third film in the MCU? I think. Taika Waititi, Russell Crowe, Jamie Alexander, Chris Pratt, Dave Bautista, Karen Gillan,
Clemente.
Clementif.
Good job. Sean Gunn back and Vin Diesel.
Vin
That's
Diesel.
right. You're hearing some Guardians fans. Guys, let's get into the story.
Bradley Cooper's got to be right under.
Bradley
Yeah.
Cooper's got to be
He's in there
next.
for
That was
sure.
where the
Rocket.
cutoff was.
Yeah.
Got a monster cast. This is Thor: Love and Thunder. If you guys are okay with it, I just want to get right into the movie.
Do it.
Please.
Go for it.
This thing is jumping right in after Avengers Endgame. It's going to help you right out, okay? Let's do a little catch up with Thor. Thor's from Asgard, one of the 9 realms, one of the first Avengers you ever meet. Many movies go by. Thor: The Dark World. He's still rocking it with Jane. There's a little drama with the Infinity Stones, and then Infinity War and Endgame. The big battle against Thanos. Thor's finding himself. He blames himself. He gets fat, and he's like, I really messed up. And at the end of Endgame, he goes, I'm done being the king of Asgard. You know what, Valkyrie? You be the king of Asgard. Hands it off, and he goes, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Chris Pratt, Star-Lord. This is the whole crew, minus, of course, Gamora. Spoiler alert for the MCU, Gamora. They don't even talk about her.
Yeah.
really.
She kind of just went and did her own thing.
But I mean, Guardians 3.
Yeah, they'll get back
Yeah.
to her for sure.
Yeah, they'll get back to her. She's out there. And this
Search.
movie, this is it. We open up, one of the best cold opens of a Marvel movie I had ever seen, where we're seeing the villain in not
Oh yeah.
a Thor 2 Dark World way, but in a way that is middle of the nowhere desert,
Yeah.
a dad and a daughter, skinny, dying from drought. I have no idea what's happening. Oh my gosh, this is Christian Bale.
Yeah.
And this is one of the most beautiful on IMAX dramatic scenes I'd seen a movie open with, where I'm like, what the hell is going on?
It's very jarring.
Jarring
Yes.
is a great word, especially for Thor: Love and Thunder.
Right. Like, hey, we're in
Yeah.
here. This is a comedy. And then they boom,
And
right in the heart.
supposedly they cut out a lot of scenes that are even more jarring, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah,
But-
for sure.
but-
Well, yeah. Well, I wasn't thinking that 10 minutes in.
Correct. I know. Just before I'm gonna forget to say
Andy's
that.
like, I
later.
wonder what they cut from this.
No, well, yeah.
I'm like, give it a minute.
I'll forget to say that later if I don't say it now. So
Yeah.
you know how it is.
And what happens with this guy? He loses his daughter. I got a little lost in the first 10 minutes. Just from him in the desert, his daughter dies. He buries her. He hears something.
He's praying to the gods.
He's praying to the gods.
His God.
And this is where it loses me. From there to the jungle, where he
Okay,
wakes
so
up. Where he
he-
wakes
he's-
up, he falls into the water.
He's seen an oasis.
He's
Yeah.
seen an oasis.
In the desert.
In the desert.
and he starts crawling towards it, and he's found some sort of paradise.
Yeah, it's luscious.
Yes. He finds some, various fruits.
Dives headfirst into the
he's-
water. He can't believe it.
Yeah.
He can't, and it's just moments after his daughter's dead.
Right.
He's like, I'm still alive. And what do we see here but a big, burly, buff man with a gold thing on his head.
This is his God.
This is his god.
Yes.
Anybody know what god this was?
I don't recall.
Rapu?
Rapu.
Rapu.
I mean, gave me vibes of the hippopotamus god that we saw in Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Just kind of the same kind of big outfits
Yeah.
of like, this is very mystical, looks very
Wacky.
almost like CGI if CGI were in real life. It's just
Right.
kind of like kind of
Yeah.
glowy and
very
floaty.
elaborate.
And he's like, my gosh, I found my God. I am so happy. Praise be to thee. And they're just kind of, it's him and these flower creatures other like godlike creatures that
Yeah.
are in the jungle, and they all just immediately start laughing
Yeah.
at
Like,
him.
what a rube.
Oh,
This
wow, you were
idiot.
oh, this guy was praying to us? Oh, this guy was sacrificing themselves for many times? Yeah, we just kind of share notes as gods on who kills themselves and like kind of brag about it. We were actually celebrating the fact that I just killed this necromancer guy,
Yeah.
a different god that's just kind of dead on the ground.
Somebody who came at me. I took him down.
And we don't know his name yet, but his name is Gore,
Gore. Gorr.
the Butcher.
Gore the God Butcher.
And what do you think's going to make him that? But this god pisses him off. And actually, the guy is like, I'm going to kill you. Lifts him up, and he notices the sword. I thought this sword was...
the ebony blade.
I did.
Yeah.
I was getting real confused.
Oh.
Well, there's...
It was like necromancy and whispering. And I was
Yup.
like, that's got to be the sword.
Oh, we're definitely going to connect those dots at some point
I love that.
in the future.
But it's a different sword.
Different sword.
It's a necromancy sword. It's
The
still...
necro blade.
Necroblade. It still can give you power, but it still compromises your soul. But Christian Bale gets a hold of this thing because it like wants him to.
It's a sentient weapon.
It knows
seems like.
you. Oh, you want revenge?
Yes.
You want to kill this god,
Here I come.
Yeah.
and he does.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Kills it and decides what's he to get right away. Oh, he gets a flash of knowledge from this thing, and it's like the Bifrost.
Yeah,
Oh, this is the key to everything. And I was like, oh wow, damn, is this? And then I thought, is this thing gonna have the Bifrost? No,
No.
it was. He's gonna need it.
Like you need it to get to where you want to go.
But he gets the like Idris Elba eyes.
Yeah.
A little,
A
kind
little
of.
gold or translucent.
All right, this is my favorite part of the movie. Maybe run the Marvel Studios title interest.
Oh yeah.
Like
Some
just
sweet licks.
Yeah. It was very customized for this movie, and it
Yeah.
aligned
And it-
perfectly with the music.
and not just like but like just
Yeah.
shredding those high notes.
Yes.
I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that I want ringtones on my phone again.
This is like the summer of the guitar between Thor and Stranger Things. Like
The 80s.
this good 80s rock
Yes.
going on right now.
And I can feel it in my
Yeah.
soul. Like listening to music like the midnight and then seeing this movie. Like I've been listening to just some like Genesis lately.
Some vibe. Yeah, it's just a vibe.
It is a vibe, and it's my vibe. I'm feeling like this is it. Like vibe of the summer. Thor: Love and Thunder fit right in, and this is the movie. They got your villain, and now it's time. Let's go see what Thor and the gang's been up to. We know he's been with Guardians. We meet Korg again, our rock big friend. He's explaining to kids
I love this
the
part.
story of
Yeah.
Thor, and he kind of gives the breakdown
A
that
little montage.
a little
Yeah.
montage. You know, this is they did a lot of the catch you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
But they had Baby Thor. We saw Baby Thor fighting
She-
on like a little jumper in front of
Yeah.
his mom.
he's in his mom's like front like baby backpack, you know. And yeah, like this is how early we started. We see him like go through his outfits as he's running through the almost like a Superman feeling,
It's
like
like a
with
Forrest
cape.
Gump running through the forest, aging all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You
That
know?
was,
Just
that was
like
his
a-
son. One of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
was playing one of the
Moses'
kid that
kids.
was running.
Yeah, and there's gonna be a big emphasis on kids in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know how Danny
I love,
P feels
I
about
love
that.
kids in my superhero and Star Wars shows. It always really enhances it.
I was watching it thinking like I already know how Dan
That's-
feels
Yeah.
about this.
Oh, Dan is
Well,
hating
that's
this.
the-
Execute Order 66.
And he catches us up. He brings us up to speed. And what is up to speed? It's exactly what you think it is. Except like the kind of where is Thor in his mindset? He's realized that, you know, since Jane broke up with him, he's not really destined for love. He's also getting a little tired of fighting, but he's realized that his main purpose is fighting. So he just kind of waits around until the Guardians need him. What are the Guardians' whole shtick? We go to planets that need our help, and then we have them pay us to fix everything. And this is what Thor does best. He comes in, he's got his speech down. He's got his speech down so much about killing the enemy that Star-Lord is literally like wording, he's heard it so many times. They've obviously been on the road for like years together, just traveling. I love the back and forth between Star-Lord and Thor. You know, it broke my heart that, you know, Carrie asked me, she's like, so they're going to be in this? And I'm like, probably for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Saw
it-
that coming.
and
if
it was
you're
a-
lucky.
And
Sad.
it was about that. It was
Yeah.
like, yeah, it was very quick, and we find out very quickly. They help this planet they're on, and they go back on the ship, and Thor has been given 2 goats that he gets to keep now. That was a part of the prize from the planet they saved, and the Guardians are. You can tell there's a lot of chaos happening in the ship.
Well, and when he quote saves the planet, it's like these folks are basically like, hey, our our main palace has been invaded by these chicken people, which is very reminiscent of the Heavy Metal cartoon. I knew Scott was going to get that one. You got these because there's Hawkmen in the animated one that they fight. And it was very similar with these like bird people.
For sure.
He's flying around with the hammer,
The
and he
splits.
winds up destroying that whole palace. And
Takes
so
it down.
the quote gift of the goat kind of felt like we got to give them something. We can get rid of these damn things.
And he even says, he's like, we're giving you the goats.
Yeah.
And there's like, we already said we're giving them to you, so you got to take
Yeah,
them.
you got to take them.
And, you know,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I read something earlier today that the goats were based off the Taylor Swift like memes that used to be out there, where she'd be singing that and go straight to the goats.
Yes.
And I'm like, yep, see it.
and I heard these are from the comics too,
Wow.
I guess from
Yeah,
maybe the same run.
Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Biter or something.
Just two big
Something like
goats that are.
But we get the kind of explanation. These chicken people have invaded
Uh-huh.
because our god is dead.
Yep.
You know,
Our god is dead.
Our god is dead.
And like no one really thinks of anything of it then. Thor kind of goes, wait, how'd that happen? And he kind of gets cut off and like
Right.
that's it.
yeah.
It's like, okay, well, that's our first little tease of like, oh, well, we know probably what happened to that god. Let's find out about more other things that are happening. Well, they go on the ship. They have like a screen the Guardians have of like things that are going down in the universe. Distress signals. That's how they always find their people.
Yeah.
Distress signals. That's what they do in Infinity War.
We'll get
when they
it.
find
We'll
Thor.
exploit it. We'll get some cash.
And if they don't, they'll give us a little cheddar
Yeah.
cheese fry.
Yeah.
And it's like that's their whole thing. And what do they see? They see a couple things. The Guardians are like, there's a lot of people out here that need help. Like there's some shit going down. And Thor sees Lady Sif.
Yes.
Sif?
Sif.
SIF.
That's a scene there that I'll be curious. I'm sure people have already started doing it, but breaking it down, is there anything in there that references,
all
other
those screens
stuff? Yeah, who has gone through all those? Like, where's like Peter Parker right now in this thing? Like,
Yeah, like what was going
I'm
down
sure
Some
on that.
obscure character that we haven't met yet was up
I
in the
don't know.
upper right hand
And
corner on the screen.
Who's Peter Parker?
Right. Good job, Andy. That's really good. That was perfect.
Yes.
And you know what it is too? It's like you're totally right, Dan. It could be like distress signals from the universe.
Yeah.
They could be like one little screen at the bottom. It's
Right.
like, well, there's the overarching Avengers 5 theme.
Yeah.
You know?
I
Like,
mean, you could have the Eternals asking for help.
Yeah.
You could have
Howard the Duck could be up there somewhere.
needs his martini refilled.
And they decide very quickly, time to split the team. Guardians are going to go do their thing. Thor is going to go check out Lady Sif. He does. He jumps right there to her with Korg. Stormbreaker, again, just for a reminder, has the Bifrost. So
Yes.
he can just jump around. I thought about that. I was like, he's just riding that ship with him. But
He could really just do whatever he wants.
anytime.
Yeah.
Like I could almost see it as like, hey, let's split up for like a few hours. And like
Yeah.
them, but like that was like goodbye.
Yeah.
It was
See you
goodbye.
later.
Thanks for the few years. He
See,
finds
now,
Go ahead.
we talk about in Star Wars, it did a lot of interstitials. Like they're using the show to do interstitials. I could see a whole, like I would enjoy a series of just the Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor.
Yeah.
Like that could have
for
been
sure.
that could have been the movie for me. And it
Fill
would've been
that
great.
gap.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that
That's-
like you just kind of hope
This
that, like,
movie could have been Thor 5 in my
Right.
mind, and you could have done him with the Guardians.
They'll do
the
it
whole
in
time,
30
but-
years and they'll de-age everybody.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's
everybody
probably it.
everybody will go, well, that was just a cash grab.
And we will be not de-aged.
Yeah.
Here
We'll
as
be-
old
we'll
men
have-
talking
be
about
sitting
it.
here like, oh wow, they did it.
Season 33.
I give it a 2.5.
The meat. It's we had to tenderize it.
There hasn't been meat in 15 years.
Yeah.
All right, so where were we? So they do the split up. He finds Lady Sif.
Lady Sif, she's
She's-
missing an arm.
She's missing an arm, and he's like, oh, we gotta get you out of here. And she goes, no, let me die a warrior's death so I can go to Valhalla. It's gonna be important. And he goes, well, technically the battle's over. So
Yeah, you would have to die in the battle. Maybe
Yeah.
your arm's in Valhalla.
Yeah.
your arm might be there.
We're gonna get a throwback to that at
Yeah.
some point.
And he says, come with me. I'll take you to New Asgard,
Yes.
which is in Norway on the planet Earth. I'm going to get you help there because we have Asgardians living there. And you get a very quick catch up on what's been happening in New Asgard. Basically, since King Valkyrie has been in charge, I mean, she has sold out.
Oh,
Disney
yeah.
World.
Disney
This
World,
is the tourist trap.
tourist trap in the world. Like they're making everything kind of look. You can tell like some of the Asgardian soldiers are wearing like fake plastic.
Yeah.
Like they did a good job like making the real stuff look fake, but then the real stuff looking real. And so this is where we get kind of the coming together of Korg, Thor, Valkyrie, getting a catch up on like, Idris Elba, Heimdall, has a son. And like, there's all these families in Asgard, and Matt Damon, and what's his name?
We get the actors.
The oldest
Luke Hemsworth.
Oh my gosh! And is it Luke Hemsworth?
Yeah, that's his brother.
Are you sure?
Brother.
Yeah, 100%.
And
Liam is the one that was in Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's his whole. Okay, and then they're doing Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And the hammer breaking, Matt Damon, all of it.
We get Sam Neill back as Odin.
Yep.
Yes. Oh, that was great. Yeah, Sam. Oh, yeah. He's like, I just got done with Jurassic Park, so this is fine.
Right. Just give me a cash, and I'll just get out of here.
I'll just raking it in.
we get Hela.
Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, that was nice.
That was for those fans.
Been waiting for her to get in the MCU.
Her husband was like the director, because those two are always in movies together.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize
her
that.
husband's the guy in Bridesmaid
to
who's like on the plane, and she like puts her leg up.
Oh, yeah.
That's her actual husband in real life. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's in like every movie she's in, because they're always like,
for sure.
He always has like a little cameo. So
he's got the black hair,
the mustache,
and he's got a TV show. They got a TV show right now where he's like, it's on Netflix or something, where like he's been touched by God or something, and he's like glowing, and they can't figure out why, and she's his wife or something. There's a whole show about that apparently.
Nice.
Okay, well, Gore, the Butcher, doesn't waste any time. He's here in New Asgard, and like they find out like pretty much immediately that like shit's going down, and what's he do? He uses his sword to create shadow monsters to like attack the town. Thor's fighting back. Valkyrie's fighting back. We get some of the Pegasus-looking creatures, some action there. And in the middle of this, Thor sees, he's helping out, and he sees lightning and says, "Who's the new guy?" And like, I'm not gonna lie, for a hot second, I was like, "Who?" Well, in the meantime, we've gotten a whole backstory about Jane Foster.
That's right.
Who remembers Jane Foster?
Oh, everybody, I think.
I mean, not Thor Ragnarok.
No. True.
She's taking a break.
But in that movie is where he said, she broke up with me.
Yeah.
Well, how'd she break up with him? It was a handwritten letter. And here's the real bummer: she's got stage 4 cancer.
Yeah, stage 4.
This is like straight out of the comics, apparently.
Yeah.
She's sick. You get a little Dr. Eric Selvig time.
Yeah.
Little like FaceTime where he's like, you're running out of stuff.
There's nothing I can do.
We get
this is crazy. By the way,
is it
Darcy?
Kat
Darcy,
Denning?
yeah.
Darcy.
Kat Dennings.
Kat Dennings. She shows up,
giving her kind of the talk, saying like,
17 since WandaVision.
Yeah,
that's right.
I think.
No mention of Westview. Apparently, it's been a few years. Probably been a couple years since Westview even. But kind of bringing her to say, same thing. You're out of options. You got to figure something out. Have you tried calling, essentially your ex-boyfriend?
Right.
Yeah.
Thor. Could he help? Anybody up north help?
He played the Space Viking card.
Yep.
The Space Viking.
That's what you said, yeah.
Yes. And Jane decides to do this, goes back to her lab, and it's almost like she hears something.
Yeah, almost like some whispers.
And it's a book, and it's a page about Mjolnir. You guys remember Mjolnir? Mjolnir. The hammer that was broken by Hela in the battle.
We were just reminded of that fact. Yes.
That's right. Oh yeah, I know. And even that, it's funny to me, but I also like it's hard for me not to laugh at those like funny play parts because I'm like, well, these are the fans that like really don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a way to catch you up.
It's smart, but
showing you what actually happened.
Yeah. But me, I could go without it. I'd be like,
I love
it.
Keep it going.
Give me a longer movie.
I love it.
Yeah, actually, just add to it. That's what it is. And so she goes to New Asgard, finds Mjolnir in pieces in like a museum,
some sort of little bubble. It's like they cut around it, and dug around it, and like put it on a pedestal.
Because the guy goes, and these are the beautiful, immovable rocks, because like nobody can lift them.
Right.
No one's worthy, even though they're in pieces. And as soon as Jane Foster gets there, it does another little whisper. Thunder rolls in.
She a little shaken.
Cuts off black for us.
Yeah.
Cut to who's the new guy? It's Jane Foster. She is the mighty Thor.
The mighty Thor.
Here she is. I'll give it up for her. I mean, she looked amazing.
She looked great.
I mean, amazing.
Yeah.
Like strong, buff arms, but like beautiful, tall. Natalie Portman's back, not cancer sick as she was 10 minutes ago. The Thor hammer Mjolnir is making her, at least on the surface, look better.
Yeah. Impervious.
What'd you guys think of this?
I liked it.
What'd you guys think about the Mjolnir coming back
I love the interplay of Thor and the hammer the whole
Yes.
time, where it's like,
Yep.
you know, his actual ex-girlfriend is there, but then his ex-weapon is there, and that's even like more important to him. And the eyes he gives the hammer as it like flies past, you can just see like all this excitement. He's like Mjolnir.
Yeah.
What have you been
that
up
was
to?
really-
My hammer.
It's
My hammer.
running out of, then it just turns around. Yeah, that was heartbreaking.
He's like, oh. I
Yeah.
just felt, you know, it's like, and then we get a little catch up before they take the story any further. They're like, here's the recap of Thor and Jane.
Yeah, we get Korg again.
And they
breaking it down.
they showed us this like this love story that no one's really seen
Right.
before, you know. And I mean, for anybody that's like, you know, you got somebody like this was tugging a little bit. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. I was like, anybody that's here for our love story is going to be like really happy with this.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Love and Thunder is in the title,
Yeah.
so you kind of expected it.
Yeah, it's got to be in there.
And part of that love story was, you know, they're very in love, and Jane kind of goes off in the apartment, whatever, and it's a flashback, and he whispers to Mjolnir, watch after her.
And it like glows. It like
Yeah.
puts like a little
Symbol.
3-ring
And I think
symbol
just
kinda
like-
thing on
Wasn't there some sort of like animal heart on Jane? Did I see that? It's almost like he was casting a spell when he did that.
When
She
he
was like
whispered?
asleep, yeah.
Well, this was like, I don't know if she was asleep. She was like
I'll have to see it
around.
again. I don't remember.
Yeah, I know for sure. But you know what it was? It was the same as when Odin whispers this.
Yeah.
You know, whoever shall be worthy can pick this up, and it gives the symbol.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You know, it's almost like as the god of these weapons, you're given the ability to kind of influence. And they also pretty much have like characterizations of themselves, a lot like Doctor Strange's like cape, and Mjolnir now has like a personality, which is like pretty new.
Yep.
And Stormbreaker like has a personality, which like is
For sure.
also very new. Not like just a little bit of a personality, but like floating.
Yeah.
Well, it's very much reminiscent of Doctor Strange's cape.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
When we brought the cape to life, it had a
Yes.
little bit of personality. Like, you know, I thought it was kind of funny then, and I thought it was funny now. It's a fine line with these weapons
Yeah,
and
it
for sure.
is
accessories being
enchanted
characters
versus
yeah.
like personality.
yeah.
I thought it was a little bit like they're bringing in a lot of new stuff with these weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But pretty cool, you know. Like the way, like if I was fighting back against the story, it was. So you're telling me like Thor could have like maybe just walked over to the hammer and been like, "Get your stuff together."
Yeah, come on now.
And now I can fight Hela. Instead, it was like just over.
Yeah,
like,
he kind of just walked away.
I mean, in this fight scene, she's got like new Thor powers now.
Oh yeah,
Because-
it's breaking apart.
It's
and
like
hitting
bullets.
multiple
Cool.
people.
That was dope.
Yeah,
Coming
that was
back
really
in.
cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I was like, yeah, this should have been a thing the whole time.
Now, Scott, I saw something that people are upset that that's how she became Thor because it's different than in the comics. Do you know? I don't know how she becomes Thor.
I don't recall, but it's pretty similar.
really,
I think.
because it was something about like, well, he gave her the power, so that's
Uh,
not the same as her actually being worthy.
It,
it was
Odin
interesting.
cast him out,
Uh-huh.
and he became unworthy because
Okay.
there was a storyline about Thor the Unworthy.
Okay.
Yeah,
And so,
and she just kind of found it. And through the first, I think, like 3 or 4 issues of the Mighty Thor, you didn't know it was Jane Foster.
right, and like that's almost how it was. Before, you know, she had the mask on. He's like, "What have you been up to?" You could tell that like that could definitely be a whole
Yeah.
series of
Well,
scenes.
like instantly, he looked at her outfit and changed his.
Yes, and he puts it
Yes.
in.
Yeah, it was like a
Puts his
gold.
helmet
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, as an MCU fan, I was really, I was almost like, am I buying how she got these powers?
Yeah.
Because it felt a little Hollywood.
It's
How
just-
it felt like they Hollywooded it a little bit.
She's worthy. Okay. Yeah,
But
wasn't
is she
really-
worthy? I think is the doubt that they
What's-
put in
what's-
my mind.
Yeah, what's the difference
Was
in
it-
being worthy and being like looked after?
Was it Thor that put the spell on the hammer that
Yeah.
made her worthy, or was she actually worthy?
And why did the hammer only whisper to her? Like, was it because she was sick? And
Or-
even
yeah.
then, it was like,
It didn't whisper until she thought about it. Really?
and then apparently that didn't help. Like, you know, like
No.
we'll get back to it. We'll circle back. Well, she's here and she is the mighty Thor. She's doing her thing. They're teaming up, and right away we got to go after Gore the Butcher.
Yeah.
Why? He stole all the kids.
Yep. Took all the kids. They're gone.
Great, we got kids. This is perfect. Disney's like, here's our relatable characters. We're just gonna shove them all in a cage for the next hour and a half, and kids are gonna be like, "Oh, there's a kid just like me." That's
Those
how
damn
That's how the
cages.
boardroom meeting had to
Those
go.
damn
we gotta
cages.
put kids. What can we do? Let's use the kids to draw them to gore.
Whose kids?
Yeah.
Taika Waititi's kids, Chris Hemsworth's kids. I'm sure Natalie Portman's got a kid in there.
Yeah.
Like they've got kids.
They probably
and
just
kids
went
in
to
this.
the stage, like everybody working, and like, hey, we need some kids. Like,
That's-
they all have
That's
any?
100% what it was.
You
It
could
was
just bring 'em
all
in.
staff
The,
kids.
the one part I liked about the
Guaranteed.
kids, which like here's the thing, I go back and forth on this where I'm like, I guess they have no choice to keep it going forever. They gotta just get young kids in the mix, and like that's how you keep it going. But it is pretty thick nowadays. But what I did like was I liked those kids looking out the window and seeing Thor and like Valkyrie fighting, and they're like, oh man, I was like, man, that is what it would be like to live in that world and be like, there's Thor just kicking ass again for many, many years now on Earth.
I would, for the record, I was good with the kids until a part we're gonna get to in a little bit. Then I was like, yeah, fucking Christ, are
I
you
can't
kidding
wait.
me?
A little further.
God, sorry for the cussing. but
No,
yes,
no, it's good.
You already know what scene with the kids, but we'll get there.
Oh, I can't wait. I do
Yeah.
know what scene. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go after him. What's the plan? Me, Thor, Valkyrie, Natalie Portman's Mighty Thor, and Korg. We need help from the gods. This guy is attacking gods. He's got the kids. Oh, you know what? I can talk to the kids because Heimdall's son is there,
right?
And they do the vision talk to each other.
Axel,
Astrid. He's like, Axel.
Yeah.
And he goes and sees them. All right, I know where they are. They're in the Shadow Realm. You know Shadow Realm?
Shadow Realm. That's, I mean,
no.
It's a realm. It's a realm of shadows,
and it's shadow. It's shadowy. It's real shadowy.
Black and white. Everything.
It's pretty much black and white. He's like, all right, that's where we got to go. Let's go to the gods and tell them, this is it, guys. You're meeting Zeus.
Yeah, omnipotent city.
What was it again?
Omnipotent city.
That's one of those words that's like not made for me.
Yeah.
Omnipotent
titty.
And what is this place?
All the gods have
all the
congregated
gods
here.
and
all of them.
Thor even kind of names some off. He's like, we got to go find him. We got to get
he's
Zeus.
like, he's
we got to get Pharaoh.
Yeah.
He's fanboying over all these
we
guys.
see them all. We see the dumpling god, Bao.
Yeah.
We see Korg's god.
Who else?
Korg's god on a throne of scissors.
Yeah.
Yeah, scissors and rocks. He's like, he's like, I kind of based my whole thing off of this guy.
Yeah.
And who's Zeus? Russell Crowe, who you might remember from Virtuosity, and he is in this movie. And
Not Gladiator, Virtuosity.
And he's got the lightning bolt in his hand. He's a chubby old fat god, and he's probably one of the highlights of the film.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
he's
God,
here
yeah.
putting on a show.
Oh yeah,
he's got his best Greek accent going.
And this beautiful palace.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Looks better than they're getting pretty good at this.
Oh yeah.
It felt a little bit like they were standing in a green room sometimes, but for the most part, pretty good.
It felt pretty real.
I thought so too. Here's the deal. They're in disguise. They're kind of hiding. Zeus is giving a speech. Not for long. Thor gets out there and asks for help.
Yeah.
Lays it out there. Gore's coming. He's killing gods. Not getting any help. He's a low-level god killer. I don't care. Zeus says,
we're safe here.
We're safe here.
We don't really have to worry about it.
Don't have to worry. It's going to be fine. And a lot of people got their wish in this moment because every single bit of Chris Hemsworth's clothes came off.
Yeah, we got some cheeks.
I mean, cheeks, and I was looking at traps.
Yeah.
Sweet
Like,
back tats.
His
his
my
Loki.
God. The back tattoos.
R.I.P. Loki.
R.I.P.
Rest in mischief.
Like somebody wrote it like a little kid with a crayon.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'm going to get that same tattoo.
Rest
exact
in
same
mischief.
one.
Oh, somebody's already got it. I can guarantee
Oh,
it.
no,
man.
for sure.
It'll look the exact same as Chris Hemsworth's body, too.
Oh, yeah, right.
But like if you like stuffed it full of
Same
9th
shot.
Street Deli and gramophone sandwiches.
Same shot is right above you. That's pretty much
Oh,
Thor.
Jesus Christ.
And Zeus tells me, he's like, I'm not going to help you. As a matter of fact, you've been annoying me. I'm going to kill you. Throws his lightning bolt. Thor catches it. Kind of does his own little lightning with it. Throws it back. Apparently, like, to us.
Straight to
kills,
his chest.
Just kills Zeus.
And he just drops off the platform.
And no one moves. No one cares, essentially. It seems like. It was
all
like
the soldiers come down.
The soldiers
they start
come
attacking.
down. Yeah.
Korg gets smashed.
That's what set
And-
Thor, actually. I skipped a big part. You
Yeah.
thought?
Yep.
Did you guys think?
Oh, he was dead for sure in my mind.
Korg's dead. He's got
100%.
that was
I was
it.
like, fuck.
Yeah.
Nope,
Korg.
just his face.
Yeah.
He's still okay. Just his face. Valkyrie's got it. It's an all-out battle. They get a hold of the lightning bolt. He gets a hold of Stormbreaker. We didn't even talk about it. We are now leveraging the goats on the front of a magical ship with Stormbreaker as the power source, where they kind of... I loved this. This felt like it was for fans. It makes the Bifrost in front of the ship, and the goats run on it. And the ship just destroys it. Like, it's just riding it like a wave. Thought that was pretty
amazing.
Cool. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, crashes through the window, make the escape. We see some Celestials.
Yeah, two Celestials.
Peek through the window.
Because these are gods, right?
Yes.
And, this is where you start thinking about, like, all right, what is Gore up to? He's going to kill all the gods.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, revenge, sort of.
He's salty.
Yeah.
He's salty.
He's based the info that his god gave him.
Yes, applies to all gods.
Everyone. I'm going to kill all the gods and then find a way to the Eternal Gate?
The Eternal Gate where you'll meet...
Some gate to make a wish.
Where
that was the...
Eternity.
Yeah.
The MacGuffin
you get to
this
see
time.
Whoever
eternity.
makes it to eternity first gets to wish.
Yep.
And
this is a real comic book character, Eternity.
It looks like one of the coolest
For
characters
sure.
I'd ever seen,
Yeah.
when we get there. All right, so that's his plan. They break out of there. They're like, okay, we got the lightning bolt. We'll head back. And this is where we get, we learn that, they're on the ship. There's a little downtime on the ship for a while, a little back and forth with Thor and Jane kind of reconnecting, coming to. She kind of...
Axe gets jealous of Hammer because Thor keeps going over and trying to pick up Mjolnir.
Yeah.
And finally, he gets over there and doesn't, and, the axe immediately, creeps right behind him.
He's like, I'm just talking to an old friend.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, hey there, Stormbreaker.
He's like, I was just looking for you. But she does the tell-all, breaks it down for him, and he's like, you got to live every moment for today, and we just, let's do this battle together. It's like, okay, the hammer's helping you. I like this. She's like, okay, cool, we'll fight. Get a moment with just Korg's face, and you get a little bit of Valkyrie having more of her drinking, and kind of wallowing and trying to figure out her own life, but not much else.
Yeah.
We learn about how Korgs are made.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Two daddy Korgs come together.
Korgs. They go to a beach or a body of water.
No, it was a lava pit.
A lava pit.
We hold hands in the lava.
Yes,
and that creates a new baby.
Yes,
Korg. All information we needed as part of MCU fans, really
100%.
Important how Korgs are made.
The fanfic on this is going to go wild.
And jump to kind of the main round with Gore. Really, we make it to the shadow round. The shadow realm.
The visuals on this are really cool.
Really cool. Go ahead.
The black and white. It's all of a sudden you're almost watching a different movie because it's all black and white, very Sin City-esque.
Yeah.
But then the way they do use color with the lightning bolt, and sometimes Mjolnir, or sometimes
Thor's
weapons,
eyes.
the eyes, just makes it all pop. It makes for a cool action sequence. This is if you think Doctor Strange, for me the big battle was the musical battle, which is so unique and creative. This is that battle. This is the one that actually looks different because the one later sucks. But we'll get to that. But I just thought the way they're battling, the way Korg, the way he uses his powers with shadows and stuff to pop up around him, and Gore, sorry. I just thought it was really cool. Really good use of special effects, and Christian Bale. If you didn't tell me that's who it was, I don't know that I would have known. His mannerisms, his facial expressions, he just. Christian Bale's the type of guy that I bet if you asked him hey, have you seen any of the MCU movies? Probably nah. Nope.
I know.
But
right.
But he's all in on this.
Yeah, who's this character?
Yeah, he's doing a great job. Yeah, he's who is my character? What is my motivation? And just the way he moves and the facial expressions and the tone of his voice and how it shifts is just so cool and unique that in a lot of these superhero movies always feel the bad guy ends up making them because the hero you know that story, you get that in the first movie. And I thought he did a really good job of carrying kind of the villain element of this movie.
Yeah, and
without Loki, because this is like
I know
we got no
We're
Loki.
gonna get into that.
So...
Absolutely. I cannot wait to talk about reflecting on it and being like, what do I feel like is missing? And like, how is this different from other movies with Thor? And this Gore, this is not new just to the Thor world. This is a new type of villain you haven't seen before. Yeah. And and I am so with you. The visual effects, this planet they're on in the Shadow Realm, where the three of them are like kind of walking on the top of the small round planet, almost feels like a Wes Anderson meets like Tim Burton. Like crazy scene that I had never seen before, and like really Tim Burton feeling with those shadow creatures coming up and almost like the robotic movements a little bit to them, but that looks like a Marvel fight in the best ways. Yeah, being it doesn't feel like it's anything else. It feels like it's something new and fresh.
The only thing I'm not crazy about in these sort of fights is when they bring in the quote henchman creatures, because you got 3 or 4 heroes here, so you need 3 or 4 heroes worth of things to fight.
Exactly.
And that's what I thought was so cool about Avengers, especially what's the
Age of Ultron?
No, is Infinity War the first one?
Yeah.
Is Infinity War then Endgame, right?
Correct.
So Infinity War, when you had that group of bad guys and it was more kind of 1-to-1, they were fighting. I like that more. And
the children of Thanos.
Yeah, all the children of Thanos.
Versus the
henchmen.
The army that would slaughter themselves.
Yeah.
Whenever they
the dog.
The dogs, right?
Yeah.
The Age of Ultron is like the Ultron bots, right? You just got a million of these. Yep. They're going to keep people busy. They can keep any character busy for a little bit. You kind of feel that.
You know what's happening. You're those things are going to die.
Yep.
There's no way. It's that when it shows that part of the action scene, it's almost uninteresting because you already know the outcome. The hero's going to win. On this part, it's going to be the main villain that, will kill somebody, will do something shocking for motivation for others. So it's the only thing I don't love about that stuff, but I like having that many heroes there. So what are you going to do?
And I did love that. It almost, you have both Thors walking in. You got Valkyrie. I was like, this feels a little bit like that in-game scene, with all of them kind of just walking up, being like, all right, we got a big bad we got to take down.
For sure.
We haven't fought anybody like this before. How's it going to go? How's it go? They do okay, but they kind of get effed up, and they get to the point where, we got to leave. Jane's not doing so hot, Jane Foster, and we got to Bifrost out of here. Okay, guys, get around me. I'll Bifrost us. Everybody gets out except for Stormbreaker.
Yeah.
And Gore gets his hands on it, and Thor leaves it behind. And that's when you learn that the weapon that has the Bifrost doesn't need to go. It's just part of it.
Just opens it.
Just opens it up.
Yeah.
So we don't get the kids. That's why we're there.
Yep.
We lose the weapon that we know is the key for him, and we lost one of our main heroes. Yeah. So mission accomplished.
Mighty Thor is down.
Lady Thor is down. They go back, and this is where Thor apparently puts together, this thing is killing you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She was definitely worse.
In his opinion, she's way worse. Every time she grabs it, she comes back worse. Her mortal body can't heal. I mean, this is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just in the hospital, and he changes his whole tune where he's like, I'll just stay with you. And she's like, what about fighting together? He's like, that was before I realized I was about to lose you. And she's like, well, I'm going to go. And he's like, no, you're not. I got to go do this on my own. And he does. I mean, essentially. Trying to think if there's anything else that happens in that town. I mean, that's the big speech is I'm staying behind. You're going to go. Valkyrie got hurt too. She got stabbed.
Yep. Yeah.
And she's like, I lost my kidney. And he goes, gone. Just gone, huh? Yep. She goes, yep, gone. I'll basically die if I go. And he's like, all right, I'll go on my own. She's like, take the Zeus lightning bolt.
Yep.
Yep.
This amazing weapon, apparently. And he's like, I'm going to go do this myself.
Save the kids.
Here we go. He goes back, I guess, to the Shadow Realm. I mean, Gore is on his way.
Oh, yeah.
He's setting up.
Yep.
He's got the Stormbreaker. He's found the entry point, turns it on. It's almost like,
shooting the Bifrost directly at the gate.
This will open up the gate I need, and at the backside I can use my black sword to keep defenses up with my black monsters. And who's behind him? The kids.
Yeah, we're just gonna let them chill here.
The younglings.
We're just gonna leave them. Doesn't need them for anything.
Doesn't need them for anything other than just collateral. I mean, nothing.
I guess he
doesn't use them as collateral.
I guess
he's
he
not
used
using,
him.
He used him to lure him in.
He used him to lure him in, and then after he got him, he kind of
he
kind of let him go, right? Because like he just opened the cage.
Yeah,
it's almost
I
like
don't
they
need
were,
you anymore. Really.
And so Thor gets there, and I mean, is this the scene? Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah.
And Thor's like, listen, there's a couple things I got to do. I got to watch after these kids. I also got to stop Gore. I've got a solution.
We got all these shadow creatures,
and also all this like shrapnel laying around.
Right.
All
what
right,
can I do?
Kids, pick up a piece of shrapnel. Everybody pick up a piece of shrapnel.
Or a stuffed animal. That'll work too.
Anything.
And he gives a speech to the lightning bolt.
Yes.
And he says, whoever that be so as worthy that wants to get home after this, be able to carry the powers of Thor.
On a limited time basis.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And lightning just sprinkles into the children, and all of their shrapnel weapons become like little Mjolnirs, essentially.
Yeah.
Even the girl with a little stuffed like teddy
bunny
bear
or something. Yeah.
can't. It turns into one. You guys are gonna. Anybody in here fought before? Everybody says no. He's like, well, you're going to now.
Doesn't matter. You're a kid. You're in a Disney movie. You're fine.
And
only the parents ever die in Disney movies. You're
and
kids.
This was the battle scene. Like he goes and has his one-on-one with Korg. All right, here's all the kids. A lot of slow motion fight scenes, like with the bunny hitting people. One girl like stands up at one point and like lightning came out of her eyes, I feel like, or her hands, and she just like obliterated.
For me, this whole element diminished everything else that was going on.
I know.
And what was about to happen from a sacrifice standpoint.
I agreed. I agreed. I was feeling that the whole time.
It was a totally like you would set this mood, this like dire mood going into this room that like he's the only one left. He's got to finish this, and then it's like, oh, superpower of the kids, and then it's, you know, when he starts losing, you're like, well, you know what's going to happen. I didn't even think the kids were going to save him. I'm like, I know exactly what's about to happen here.
Yeah, and I was thinking like, you're so right. This is a Disney movie. None of them get hurt.
No.
There's nothing like that. Like, I mean, this girl that like
one
destroyed
kid.
everything.
You only get to kill one kid.
Yeah, I mean, they should have. Like, I feel like that. Yeah, right. But it was fun. I mean, it was just like, why? What are we doing? And it also raises so many questions as like a MCU fan, where you're like, could the whole time like a Thor like given Avengers like some of his power like, during the big battles?
Yeah, and then
or was it
War...
only because he had the lightning bolt? And then I get to where like, well, he had Mjolnir and Stormbreaker made from the heart of a dying star with this apparently like specific metal, and then like, you know, via Asgard powers we can like give some instruction to this thing. Well, now I've got Zeus's lightning bolt, and now I'm going to give these kids some powers kind of like on the fly.
Well, Elizabeth Olsen did an interview not that long ago where she said she is terrified every time one of these movies comes out, because she's like, is this the one that jumps the shark? Like, is this the one where people are going to be like, what the hell did they just do? And to her credit, filming one of these things, you probably have no idea how this is going to turn out. Like,
you are so in the dark.
It's so much CGI.
Especially at this stage.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, well, these all come out pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, at least the first Iron Man, there's a lot of time where he's not in the suit.
It's so good. It's such a movie.
Yeah, that one's so good. But, like, nowadays, like, there's so much. She's probably, like, you know, hoisted up on just like floating around green screens and stuff, and you're just like, oh god, I hope this is good. And I just like, I think you see it in the reception, like the Disney Plus stuff is great, but I'm wondering if we're getting too much.
I know.
And you know, you heard it with the Giggler's review of Miss Marvel. Like, this is what the comics do. And I remember when Game of Thrones was really popular.
Right.
And then we got to the end, and so many people who like were never into nerd stuff in their life got so upset about how it ended. And I'm like, look, to be a fan of one of these things that goes on indefinitely, you're going to have to understand it's going to be bad for certain periods in your life.
And
like,
I try to live that to where like this isn't going to be.
And I don't think we're there yet.
You know? But like Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah. Yeah. It
based off Ragnarok. You were expecting a 4.0.
Yeah.
I think.
All right, well, let's get to this ending then and like see how we really feel about it. All right, well, the kids all grouped together. They get the Bifrost back in hand. He figures out how to get the claw off of it. You think stops it.
Mm-hmm.
And he throws the thing full speed. Throws that Stormbreaker full speed to Heimdall's kid, and he just catches it, summons the Bifrost, and takes all the kids home. I'll tell you what I thought during the scene was, well, in Thor Ragnarok, remember when he cut that dragon's head off because it was like on the edge of the Bifrost? I was like, I hope everybody's in.
Yeah.
The kids are fine.
They're kids. I mean, earlier what I was going to say about that girl blasting those creatures, I was like, this would be like an episode of The Boys where it would like just cut through people.
Right.
She's like, oh shit, I killed my friend Timmy.
We left little
If
Billy's
this
leg
was
in the
The
Shadow
Boys,
Realm.
All the kids would be dead.
Yeah.
And
dead
I would be
immediately.
like, thank you.
Dead
Hope they-
immediately.
Hope they made it to Valhalla.
I had 4.0 if
Yeah,
all the kids had bitten it on
okay.
that. I'd be like, good for you, Disney. You took a risk and you murdered children.
So he sends
my
the kids.
God.
He sends the kids back. He gets into a rough spot with Gore, and of course, the mighty Thor
shows up.
and saves him.
Mhm.
She knew. She rode the universal jumping Pegasus thing.
Yep.
The Valkyrie horse. Has her hammer. Saves the day. They team up. They break his sword. You think it's over, but it wasn't long enough. He got the portal open,
Mhm.
and he walks right in.
Yep.
Like immediate, like right away.
Yeah. Well, Jane's down.
Jane's down.
Jane's down.
He's walking in.
Yep. Like, what are you gonna do? You gonna help her, or are you gonna come stop me?
And basically, they go in, all of them,
Yeah.
into a world that almost felt like the way station that Thanos was at when he did the snap.
Yeah.
The Soul Stone.
But this is like a white universe that's like on the water, clouds. I mean,
Yeah.
it looks amazing. But first, really,
Yeah, cool visual.
Gore has found eternity.
Yeah.
I mean, what is eternity to the visual eye? Us. Go ahead.
It looks
Look
like
at it.
like a galaxy in the shape of a person.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
for
exactly what it looked like. And I
Very
just thought to myself, I want more of this. Like just this character, not this part. Because this
Please,
part is
10 more minutes of this, please.
Thor is like, make your wish, do whatever you're gonna do. She's dying.
Right.
And-
I'm not gonna waste my time on you.
It's over.
I don't have any time left over here. Why
No.
would I waste my time on you?
I did think this is how we might save Jane.
Yeah, I did too. I was thinking, okay, he'll save her. Or
He'll
something.
get in first, and he'll make his wish. And
Yeah.
I was also thinking, like, man, if Thanos only knew he only had to find one axe instead of 6 stones,
Yeah.
could have got this done a lot easier.
Yeah, that's only one wish though. Maybe he wanted a little more. No, I guess
He
not.
could've
I guess
done it.
not.
he could
no.
have just wished for the
You're right.
stones.
You're right. He
That's
destroyed.
true.
He used the stones to destroy.
Well,
the
here,
stones.
let's just talk about this. Gore is kind of looking back and forth. He changes his mind.
Right.
I'm gonna take my wish. I'm gonna wish for my daughter back. And I mean, it happens immediately.
Yeah, she's
Eternity's gone, and she's back.
And he's dying.
And he's dying.
But I
Why?
my thought was the sword was keeping him alive.
Right, because he had already
Yeah.
lived his human
And when
life.
the sword was destroyed, then
And they-
he was dying.
They did say when we destroy the sword, it'll
Yeah.
kill him.
Right.
Yeah.
He'll lose his power.
And Jane is in Thor's lap. I mean, this was heavy.
Yeah.
This
for
was
sure.
heavy.
Yeah.
And
This read like Natalie Portman's done. to
Yeah.
me.
Oh, for
and
sure.
I was
That's-
going, God,
I'm
they're-
not coming back.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is it. Like, and she says, like, this was the best time of her life. Was it changed her whole life having that hammer for even just the time it did. And then she said she thought of her catchphrase. I think is what she said, right?
Yeah. It's Thorben time.
Please,
Grab your thermometer. It's about to get hot.
please,
We don't know.
Yeah. No, we don't know.
A whispered line.
I mean,
let's get
she confirmed
hammered.
that it was a real line.
Yeah.
And that no one knows.
yeah. Even Taika Waititi didn't know. He said he doesn't know what she said.
See, I was thinking, is it like a famous Thor catchphrase or something?
No, she probably
Like, is it like Avengers Assemble, but like this is the Thor version of that?
She said it's hammer time.
yeah.
Oh, right.
It's got to be.
For sure.
Look, you are Natalie Portman whispering into Chris Hemsworth's ear. God only knows what was said.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
those are two very attractive human beings. Like, I don't know. But they've been
Especially
doing these
both-
movies a long
Especially
time.
both of them in those
you
Thor
know,
outfits. You're
Yeah,
just like,
pre spouses. Who knows what happened in Thor 1? But maybe a little something between two of them in that last line. But I'm fanficking.
well, to your point though, you're like, okay, she's going out, and she does, and she turns
now-
to dust because she got the warrior's death, and this is like telling us she's going to get to go to Valhalla.
Before this movie started, I assumed we would only have one of these Thors left. I actually thought we might lose Chris Hemsworth.
That's what I was thinking. For
That's
sure.
what I
like Jane's going to be the one that we're left with.
The way a lot of them have gone, I was like, okay, this is the next iteration.
Right.
But then I also was like, it's Natalie Portman.
There's a lot of
she likes
torch
a little more
passing.
serious acting gigs, it seems like sometimes. And, frankly, was the bigger headliner in Thor until Chris Hemsworth became Chris Hemsworth. So,
True.
I wasn't super
true.
surprised, but I did kind of think like she might take over here.
Well, and just the fact how they bring her in, you're like, she's here now. You know, like she is in the suit. She's doing it. But here we go. They kill her. She floats off, and before she died, she told Gore like, "We'll watch after your daughter."
Yeah. Which,
like, looking at how things turned out for her, was kind of an empty promise. Because she died. So I guess when she meant, "I'll look after your daughter," she meant
Thor.
Thor will look after his daughter. We'll come back around to that. We'll see where everybody else lands. Valkyrie's still running the place. Korg's back to life. He's talking to the kids a lot.
Starting a family.
Starting a family. He met Dave.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's fallen in love. He's got another rock. They're gonna
rock.
Everyone deserves to find their rock.
And Thor apparently is a dad.
Dad Thor.
And this is his
Chris Hemsworth's real daughter.
daughter. And, this is them. Like, they're in some home somewhere. He's cooking her pancakes. They're having a little argument back and forth. Little daddy, putting on the boots back and forth. Oh, and now we're going to fight. We got Stormbreaker. We got Mjolnir.
Yeah.
It's Mjolnir's back. And they call them Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
And Love is the girl.
Yes.
That's the character. Thunder's. So he's going to be a dad.
I didn't know it was his daughter till the next day.
I didn't know
I didn't
today.
either.
I think.
Now I can't unsee it because I think she looks just like him.
So they're battling. Jane's gone. Thor's around. And I think that's really the movie outside of the end credit scenes.
Yeah.
They get their moment of the closing scene.
It's them fighting.
Yeah.
Them go, and she's like, she looks like a little badass, but it's also
Exactly.
like, what am I looking at here?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, Thor's a dad.
I don't know. Didn't see that coming.
And like, okay, we're going to get more Love and Thunder. All right, 2 end credit scenes. First one. Zeus is not dead.
Of course.
And he's pissed.
Yeah.
We are a laughing stock. And the people that are praying to gods don't even want gods. They want superheroes. We're going to get our respect back.
That's right.
And how am I going to do it? Hercules, go tell him.
Hercules.
Q, Ted Lasso.
What's his name
Soccer
from Ted
player.
Lasso?
Brett Goldstein is the actor's name.
What's his name in the show?
It's
He's
not
the best.
Jamie Tart.
Not
That's the other
Jamie.
one.
Only someone had a computer.
Rob.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's one of
I'm
the
trying to
best
think of the little
characters,
chant
and
they
like it
do
almost
for
seems
him.
like he's bringing a little bit of
hilarious.
this character that we've seen in the show immediately to Hercules, where I was like,
I mean, I didn't like.
oh,
He
okay.
He looked jacked as Hercules.
He looked jacked, but there was a comedy
to
to it. There was a comedy to it. It wasn't like they were introducing Thor for the first time. It was like Thor's cousin or something.
Right.
All right, so I can't wait to see. All right, so Hercules is coming.
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
One of my favorite characters in the comics for sure.
You pumped?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Roy Kent.
Roy
Kent.
How could I not?
Roy Kent.
It was on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
All right, number 2.
Valhalla.
Heaven.
Holla.
God heaven.
Yeah.
And there she is. She's like, I'm Natalie Portman. Jane Foster's here. She made it.
I was really hoping
Greeted by Heimdall.
I was really hoping
yeah.
we would see Sif's arm in there.
Oh,
Just
man, I was
waving.
so hoping.
I'm like, be like, what is that? And Heimdall would be like, that's the arm of Lady Sif. Like, it died gloriously in battle.
All right, well, tell me this. Not the last time we see these characters.
They left it open-ended.
What happens, do you know, comic-wise? Like, are they bringing people in and out of Valhalla? Like, Zeus, I felt like, was in Valhalla at some point. And then, like, there was, like, I thought the original story was kind of like that.
Valhalla, I think, is just for the Asgardians. This is North mythology afterlife.
But how did she got there because of Thor powers?
Because of the Thor powers.
Somebody put
she died in battle.
Somebody, like, tweeted out there that when you realize that she got to go to Valhalla because she was a cancer warrior. But you're saying like this is Asgardian.
This is yes,
because like Heimdall,
specifically,
and I feel like the fact that Heimdall greets her is meant to tell us that.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
It's not.
Yeah.
This isn't.
He
It's
died
not
in
like.
battle.
It's not like who else? Someone from Earth could greet her.
Right.
It'd be like, no, we're showing her Heimdall.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
He's like, thanks for helping my son.
The thing about this phase is we've brought in gods and the afterlife.
Yes,
And
a couple times now. Moon Knight.
yeah, and we have like different. Like it'll be interesting to see like. Are there different levels of gods? Are these, big eternal beings more powerful than, like, I mean, Thor's technically a god, Hercules, Zeus, like
Bless
all
you,
these
for sure.
gods and demigods. Like, what's the power level range here? And then how does, like, a Black Widow even show up to a fight anymore? Or the next Hawkeye? Like, you just run into this problem that sometimes Batman has a lot. Like, how does he hang with the rest of them? How are some of these street level folks? Like, even Spider-Man sometimes runs into that problem. Like, because you're out in space, Spider-Man can't be zipping around on buildings and stuff.
And what
from
happens?
spot to spot? So,
What happens when Black Widow dies?
Yeah. So
It depends on her religion.
And Iron Man.
Because when
I guess
when
that's what it
Moon
is.
Knight died, he went to his, the ocean of sand or whatever it was.
Well, what'll
He
happen
went
to
to
me
his
when I
Gore.
die?
Gore
Depends on what religion.
saw his god.
I mean,
I don't know.
Marvel. I mean, they're opening.
Logan, let's die in
doors.
battle because
Yeah.
that looked cool.
For sure.
Yeah,
Who we
except,
who we
except for the
battling?
going to battle thing.
Yeah,
Give me-
that wouldn't
give
be
me a
fun,
hammer.
but-
And let's go at it.
All right, those are the end credit scenes. Anything else in Thor: Love and Thunder story wise? Before we do a roundtable, how we feel about it? Anything story wise you guys want to hit?
I think story wise we're all good. I got a couple of moments.
All right, that's
I'd
Thor: Love
wrap
and
it
Thunder.
out.
Let's do roundtables. We'll find out when ratings hit us. Scotty, why don't you go ahead? Tell us what you think.
I enjoyed it for what it was. They really gave Taika Waititi carte blanche to do what he wanted, and it seems like he did.
Mm-hmm.
Took the kids all liked it. They had a good time. There was some children in there.
Good.
They could
They
relate
were
to.
represented.
The goats.
Yes. Oh yeah, they love the goats. There was lots of screaming happening on the car ride home. Yeah, I thought it was a fun time. It's definitely probably not cracking my top 10.
Yeah. Top 10 Marvel movie?
MCU.
Wow. Yeah. Andy.
Right there with you. I mean, I was going in expecting Ragnarok, and it was a little behind that. Like there was just too many. Like the tone of the movie just shifts so much. With like it's hilarious at one point, and then we're having like really dark scenes with gore, and it just like the tonal shifts just like kind of threw me off a lot, and I just couldn't really get a vibe for what the movie really was. I love the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Wanted more Christian Bale as well. Gore was awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
More Christian Bale, more
and
Valkyrie.
I might have exactly.
Yep.
Valkyrie was a great aspect of it. How she just didn't care to be the king anymore. Just wants to kill people. So respect that.
Yep.
What else I got? But it's just too short. Like people. I think it was announced the other day. Like speculated that they were given it like a 2-hour runtime, but like
there's a
again,
4-hour cut.
Yeah, exactly. Give me more. Like I want to see more gore where I would care more about what happened at the end.
The Waititi cut.
Yes. Yeah, give me that.
Oh, he already said no.
He's already said not happening.
Yep.
Stuff
But-
is on the
Believe in
floor
that.
for a reason.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't want to say
because Marvel Studios has a gun to the back of his head.
Oh, for sure.
I don't want to say I'm disappointed, but I really wanted a Ragnarok level. It
Yep.
didn't deliver there. But
Yep.
I mean, I'll still rewatch it in 45 days.
for
When it's
sure.
back on D+.
100%.
And maybe
Give me-
when you do that,
But
to give
Now
us-
that you know what to expect.
Today
sit
wasn't one of those
back
things
and
where I
That's-
love
that's
the
what it
movie
is.
more after we talked about it, though. It is kind of the same.
Danny P.
Yeah, I think this is in ranking my Thor movies.
Mhm.
Ragnarok's definitely one. I think I'd have to go back and watch it because it's been a long time. But I think Thor 1 actually I like more than this movie.
I get that. I get that.
And I haven't watched Dark World in forever either, but I have a feeling this would edge out that. But like the chemistry that Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson had in Ragnarok was just gone in this one.
It
That
was, yeah.
like,
It
I
was
mean, they
palpable in the first
they put
one,
them
that one.
together in that Men in Black movie, which I never saw because I heard
Yeah.
wasn't very good. But the chemistry they
was
had
funny.
in Ragnarok, I thought
was
was
fun.
so good that I'm like, man, why? Like they just never really played off each
Right.
other. It felt like she was just kind of there. and like I had fun, but there are definitely like some good things here. It's like, when I was talking with my dad, he's like, well, do you recommend I go see it or wait on Disney Plus? I'm like, look, these are fun to see in theaters, so
it's a spectacle.
I would go see it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But not same as you, Scott, not cracking my top 10, and like I said, probably my number 3 out of the 4 Thor movies for me.
Very cool. Well said. Fair share. I'll jump in. I echo a lot of what you guys said, and even a quote from a special guest that is going to chime in on this movie. They said they went out to their car and kind of was like, all right, then we drove home and there wasn't a lot to say. It was a similar thing in our car. Obviously, knowing that we were recording this podcast, I kind of forced myself to say it, like make myself face what do I feel about this movie, because Thor: Love and Thunder was maybe my top most anticipated film of the last year and a half. And so I went into this movie only seeing the first trailer and only seeing it really the first time. So like 2 full months went by, and I mean I was very internally excited, but not. You guys know me, just level-headed, not expecting, not even knowing what to expect. And the movie fell flat. There's a lot of fun things. I think it's by far top 3 most beautiful movies in the MCU.
Yeah.
You compare it to a movie that's even called Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I put the visuals on this movie up against that.
Cinematography, I think, on this is really cool.
The places and the visual effects team, of course, always carrying Marvel a lot, like they do it again here. And I thought Jane Foster looked unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a character that is begging to be on screen.
Yes.
I don't think we're done. I think Chris Hemsworth showed up again, and this Thor character, I think, is what saves the movie, because he is so true to whatever part of Thor he's in at the time and going through it in flux. But this movie felt like it's so in flux that, Chris Hemsworth or Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, I think, said it best in the movie. He's like, you're 1,500 years old, you still don't have a clue who you are. And so there's a little bit of that going on where you're like, okay, we're just getting a different part of his life. And I think I expected a little bit more of that search for Thor in this, where it was a little bit became more, I'm really, really still, hung up on one of my one true loves, which you didn't, they tease it a little bit in Ragnarok, like with one line, it was a mutual dumping,
Yeah, I think the only evolution you could say there is he goes from this all right, let's go fight, we'll always win, to when he tells her no, you got to sit this one out, but it's not earned.
Yeah.
And that's why it doesn't work.
Yeah,
in my mind.
And I feel like they didn't really ever tell the story about why they broke up. So they did in this one.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear that there was stuff cut, I just feel it. And it happened most in the most crucial parts of the movie, where they are just jumping from
it went fast.
The last 30 minutes of the film, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. Gore is in, she's there, she's gone, they're leaving behind. Oh, she's there now. Pacing needed some help, but overall, I'm gonna watch this right when it goes on Disney Plus,
100%,
and it'll be a movie that I revisit all the time. And I'm excited to see it. But for today, I think we should go and kick off some ratings if you guys are ready. I'll kick us off with the first one. Ballsy, because I don't want to commit to anything right now, but it's just today. Man, I would give this thing a 3.1. Scotty Scoop.
A 3. I'm just at a 3. It was okay. There were some great parts. There were some not so great parts. It was sometimes it was super serious, and sometimes it was slapstick comedy, and just okay.
I should also say Christian Bale saved the movie.
I think all the cast performed well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like what they did with Valkyrie.
Right,
because they didn't do anything with Valkyrie,
and that's not
for sure.
And it's not an actor. That wasn't an actor problem.
No.
That's just
that's a writing problem.
Yeah.
That's a cut problem. I can guarantee you there's probably 30 minutes of scenes with Thor and Valkyrie that are sitting on the cutting room floor.
I guess it wasn't what I pictured when she was king, but I guess she was a drunk. Andy?
3.2. I think it's not good that I'm most excited for like the Hercules Thor going forward than anything else anything else that was in the movie. But and that's an end credit scene. But I guess that's normal. They knock it out of the park with the credit scene sometimes, but
sometimes they don't.
Sometimes they don't knock it out of the park with the movie itself.
Right. Like this movie, I was like 2 end credit scenes. One of them will be a banger.
Oh, for sure.
I thought we were gonna get like, because Feige said a few weeks ago that, all right, we're gonna soon be announcing like the next phase of the MCU, and I thought, okay, something is gonna crazy happen in Thor, and they're gonna make an announcement. Blah blah blah. Movie's coming out 2 years from now, but that didn't per se happen. But I'm sure Comic-Con will have no shortage of nerdgasms that we're all about to have.
Well, that's true, but I hear what you're saying. When it comes to Thor being one of the original Avengers, you know, you just kind of think like this is going to open up a door to the next something big. And this, I mean, that was another thing you talk about. Let's before we get into that, Danny P, what's your rating?
I'm a flat 3.0.
Nice.
Sitting at a B on this. Like, should you see it? Yeah, you should. It's fun. You'll enjoy it. You'll have a good time. Hopefully, if you're listening to this, you've already seen it. Otherwise, why would you listen to this? But
and you can see how like I become almost like one of these weird Star Wars fans that like get nitpicky because like this is my shit.
Yeah.
So like when it's your shit, you just start going like, oh, I wanted it to be like the next Thor Ragnarok, and it wasn't.
This is still better than like 50% of what we've gotten from Star Wars since Disney bought them.
And
it's
still great. It's still great. Yeah. You know, like that's why like I almost feel bad. I'm almost
I feel
like
bad for a 3.
And I'm picking.
But
exactly,
a 3 is good.
It is really good, and I feel like it's honest.
Yes.
I thought you were gonna put out like a 2s.
No.
I thought Dan was going in the 2s
You're about
for
to.
Sure.
I think my original my rating out of the movie was a 3.4.
That's pretty strong.
Yeah, and we'll look where we are now.
That's a top 10 probably.
But that was yesterday. Carrie was a 3.4 too. You talked about the things it was like, you know, missing and how it's different. This was the first Thor movie without Loki.
Yeah. There
was also zero, besides Jane on Earth with cancer, Eric Selvig, Darcy, nothing else like Avengers wise.
Yeah, this movie, the end of it, like almost all the stuff I've seen recently, what I loved about the first 2 phases, I guess, is it was all setting up this bigger conflict. And it was, the first one was bring all the heroes together. The second phase was break them all apart so we can bring them back together for a bigger threat. In the way comic books typically work at this point in the cycle, what they should be doing is developing all their bad guys and anti-heroes to make a bad guy anti-hero team that goes up against the good guy team. So you have a massive team battle. Then what happens after that? This is like comic book, like these are the cycles they go through.
Yeah, for sure.
Then the next cycle is the good guys and bad guys have to team up because an even bigger threat has popped up that's going to kill them all. So that's kind of how these cycles of the characters go. You always bring them, try to bring them together for a reason, then split them apart. Then people switch sides, and I don't see them building up a like bad guy team. Like frankly, what they're doing with the TV show wouldn't be big enough. Like you can't have the Black Widow and U.S. agent fighting Thor. Like it doesn't work.
Right.
Yeah.
He wins every day. So
and he is, and they have got him on this level to where I do love the type of villains and how it's got to be like all different parts of the cosmos. I love that.
You have the pieces. You have Loki. You have Scarlet Witch. You have these like on the line good guy, bad guy characters that you could have started putting, because just like we saw in Doctor Strange, like in a team up scenario, you have Scarlet Witch fight Doctor Strange. You have, Loki fighting, Iron Man or something, or even Thor. You can fight Thor because he does magic. Like we've seen that before. So you start creating kind of these, 1-to-1, who's going to go up against who counters who. And so they do it a lot in DC. They've done it in Marvel over the years. So
yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, exactly. All right, Thor: Love and Thunder, man. That was what we thought about it. Gave you our rating, our review. I hope you guys enjoyed that recap. It was so much fun. We had some fun facts here from IMDb Pro. Move that Superman for me, Andy. Let's look at these. So the film was first announced July 16, 2017. We already do that. It says it's the 29th film of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Again, that's 29 films. I think we're at like 34, 35 titles. All these TV shows coming out. Christian Bale is the second actor to play Batman to appear in the Marvel Cinematic Universe after, anybody know?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton, that's right, playing the Vulture. That's pretty cool.
We don't need any more of the Batman actors. We don't need Clooney. Val Kilmer can't do it.
You called it, Scott.
Yeah,
the goats. Tooth Grinder and Tooth
Gnasher
appear in the films. These goats had appeared in both the Marvel Comics and Norse myth of Thor. So those are even in the Norse mythology. All right, and we also had some fan mail on Instagram. Nick Counts, good friend of mine, has written into the show. He says, I like it. A few corny lines throughout, but it was funny and it had some good action. I'll watch it again when it goes to Disney. Plus, I'm happy that Chris brought his actual daughter into the movie. The typo there, that's on me. Nick Counts, thank you very much, dude, for writing in on Instagram. You guys can write us in there, Facebook, Patreon, Twitter, all of it. And now, a very special guest appearance from Adam Barnhardt from comicbook.com. Here he is now. Enjoy. Adam Barnhardt.
Hello there.
Thanks for having me, guys.
How long have you been writing for comicbook.com? You know, obviously where we're seeing your name most of the time.
Yeah, I've been there for 6 years, I think, and then full-time 4 years. When I started, like the first day I started, even before I started full-time, I came up with a list of 8 bucket list people I wanted to talk to. And I've gotten everything besides 2. I think I still need to talk to and interview Kevin Feige and Keanu Reeves.
Oh shit!
Those
Are you
the
kidding
2
me?
outstanding ones. But everyone on the list, I just crossed off the biggest one remaining was Wesley Snipes, and that was earlier this month. Last month we finally got there. That's the one guy. I love Blade.
Oh,
Blade 2 is incredible.
We brought Blade onto the show as the feature a couple months ago. Blade 2 is actually on the horizon.
Yes, perfect.
Oh
timing.
yeah, that's awesome.
Well, hey, just so you know, that's how I felt about you. So thanks for coming on.
Oh man, that's very.
Yep. Make sure you cross that off the bucket list.
Yeah, I was like Adam Barnhardt.
Yeah,
I promise it's not a kill list. It's it's one of my favorite journalist lists.
Thor: Love and Thunder is a movie. You know, it's certainly a movie. My partner and I, we got out to the car and we just started the car and drove home without much discourse. There was like a sense of emptiness. You know, I'm not sure what I expected from it. I think I was just trying to process what the hell happened. The issue with me is I don't want to say I love every movie.
Mm-hmm.
I generally like pretty much anything I watch. Like I have few problems with Venom and Venom 2. They're good popcorn movies. I don't go to the movies for thought-provoking, award-winning movies. I just want to see shit blow up and guns firing, and John Wick's going to go down as my favorite Hollywood franchise ever, probably. The movie with 3 lines of dialogue.
Amazing.
So it's that type of stuff. I don't know. You know, I've been battling personally with the idea of working in this stuff full time and covering it, and also being a fan is kind of starting to jade me a little bit. Love and Thunder was spoiled ahead of time for me, so it's not like virtually all Marvel movies are spoiled for me ahead of time now. So it's not like I get the big surprise reveals or anything like that. So maybe that takes away with it. But no, it's enjoyable. I mean, it's like they gave Taika free reign to do whatever he wanted and provided no notes. I heard reports now that they mandated a 2-hour runtime, which makes sense now because I think that's very apparent because they certainly left a lot on the cutting room floor. But other than that, I mean, if you've liked all of Taika's other stuff, you know, it certainly fits the bill. And Hunt for Wilder People is probably in my top 5. I love Jojo Rabbit. What We Do in the Shadows. I mean, we're talking great movies all around. The only other issue with me is it follows up Doctor Strange 2, and Doctor Strange 2 happens to probably be my favorite MCU movie ever released.
Wow.
How
about that?
Yeah, it's crazy. I loved it. And that was divisive as well. But I love it's easily in my top 3 MCU rankings.
And you could tell all of us fans just wait for a comment like that to go, oh, shit, he liked it.
Yeah, wait until I say, WandaVision's probably like my least favorite thing. But that's a story for another day.
Oh, my gosh.
I'd probably be on board
Love
with
and Thunder, I mean, it had the comedy.
You're not alone on that
all
one.
right. Some of the stuff was corny as hell. But, that's the movies. The goats, I didn't expect the goats to be as funny as they were. I thought they were hilarious.
Might have been one of my favorite parts.
Yep. There could have been one less. One less yell. That was all I was asking for.
One less.
Yeah. They went a little
I was
overboard.
getting tired of it until like the Shadow Realm part. And then when they crashed into the planet, I'm like, this is great.
It's funny again.
It's worth it. It's worth it. But no, I enjoyed it. I liked it better than I didn't like it, I guess. It's got the big old fresh on the tomato meter for this guy. But rating out of 4. See, 4 is tricky because I like the 5-star system because you can rank everything 4 stars, Then you can defend yourself by saying, see, I don't think everything's perfect. But then at the same time, it's not the worst.
When have you thought about a movie though in the terms of a GPA scale?
Yeah, we do decimals.
You can do decimals, and you can have up to 2 decimals.
2 points.
You know what? Put as many decimals as you want.
You know what? You can have as many decimals as you want.
Challenge.
Thor: Love and Thunder. Natalie Portman killed it.
Yep.
Christian Bale, of course. Absolutely. Just I wish we get a gore movie or an origin movie or something. I don't know. Just give us more of that character. Out of 4, 2.8.
Nice.
That's fair.
Settling in.
Fair score.
That's solid.
Coming into this, are you a big Thor fan in general? Are you looking at this movie like Thor 4 being like, oh, I can't wait for this? Or was this going to be like here's another Thor?
I don't see it. I didn't mind the Ragnarok interpretation. I mean, Ragnarok's another one of those movies that's rated high for me.
Sure.
So I didn't mind the departure from the Shakespearean stuff. I mean, if I wanted that stuff, I would go pick up like a Norse mythology book or something like that. I don't know. I don't mind the comedy and the yucks, I guess, if you want to say it that much, the Three Stooginess of the MCU.
Man, Adam, I really appreciate you joining us. Probably kept you a little bit longer than we told you, so thanks for sticking around with us. Give us your thoughts. Let's just say this. Where can people find you? Where do you want people to find you? What can we be looking out for, from Adam Barnhardt in the near future?
Probably always on my bullshit somewhere, man. I don't want you guys to find me anywhere. If you want to find me on Twitter, just at Adam Barnhardt on Twitter. That's fine.
Awesome, man. Well, we would love to collaborate with you again in the future. I mean, you got Marvel News Desk.
Absolutely, yeah. Just reach out whenever you guys need a seat or a guest or something, and we'll definitely be able to make something work.
Awesome. Adam Barnhardt, thank you, man. Again, we will see you next time, and thank you so much, and have a great rest of your night.
Awesome. You too. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you.
See ya. There he is.
All right.
Success.
How was that?
That was cool.
We had him.
Man. The guests just keep on getting better.
It was that easy.
It was that easy. And now you guys
are just going to start tweeting everybody.
Yeah,
That's it. You just get into the DMs, and they'll just come on your podcast.
Give them the old spray and pray. We'll catch somebody.
I'm going to go shoot out some messages real quick.
I mean, you already messaged John Cena, right?
Yeah. He hasn't responded.
And with that, let's get into what's coming up.
You guys missed it. We missed a cameo.
What?
We missed a cameo in the movie.
What was it?
Daryl. Thor's the guy who got the guy he got into a roommate with in Australia.
What? He was in the movie?
He was in Asgard, yeah, for sure.
How'd you what scene?
I saw Valkyrie say, Daryl, write this list. Get this list.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think I got that.
That was like the thing that like kind of kicked off like more Surfer Bro Thor.
Yeah.
I loved
like
it. Little. I don't remember
the roommate.
Yeah, it was Team Thor.
And they've dropped them into the timeline on Disney Plus
because he was missing in Civil War.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Where's Thor been?" And then they show those little vignettes.
Were they like
of him? He's
web videos or something?
Yeah, they were all on YouTube at the time.
Yeah, it was like a special feature for sure. But like they have taken those, and on Disney Plus they've dropped them into the timeline. Like, don't forget about these.
Yeah,
they did that with
don't
the
forget about
Mandarin
Daryl
too. on something. I saw like a Mandarin thing that I'd never seen before.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's got the Mandarin in prison and they interview him and all that. All right, so coming up on the show, so that's Thor, Love and Thunder. We'll always do Marvel Cinematic Universe on this. I think Ms. Marvel will be our next title. mostlysuperheroes.com/MCU is where all those titles will be. And coming up, I mean, I did my best, guys. I wrote as many as I could. I got a link to a great website that helped us out with this list, but there's just so many things coming up. I'm just going to rattle off a few. Miss Marvel's coming up. Bullet Train with Brad Pitt. We'll probably talk about that. The Old Man, that's a TV show on Hulu with Jeff Bridges that I'm just... Oh, and John Lithgow.
Yeah, looks good.
It's so great. I'm like 5 or 6 episodes in. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. That's in November. It's at the top there. I think it's later this year, but live action Pinocchio. Don't forget about that one. Dan, you brought it up. DC League of Super Pets. Anybody gonna see this?
No.
I'm gonna bring my dog.
I was gonna say
I
will probably end up taking my kids to that.
Yeah, of course.
If I could bring my dog to that, I would do it 100%.
I think it's September, October. They're bringing Spider-Man No Way Home back to the theaters, and they're calling it the More Fun Stuff version.
That's we saw a weekend that looks weak for Disney to buy.
Andy already rose his hand.
I'm in. I love more fun stuff. I mean, we don't have another Marvel movie till November, so maybe that's one of the reasons they're like, all right, we need something to fill this gap between
July and November.
Another
we used to
million.
Get one every 5 years.
I know. You're right. I'm beginning to think it might be an issue of them having too much stuff.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But I'm gonna give it some time. I need this whole phase to shake out before I can really decide that.
That's fair. Yeah, you're right. Because it's almost like looking at, some of the middle movies in phase 1 and like judging the whole MCU off those. You can't do that.
I mean, in my mind, Spider-Man is leaps and bounds better than anything else in this phase. I think.
Yeah. No doubt.
This phase has been really disjointed.
Yes.
It has. It feels disjointed too, and I think that's part of it. Where you're like, it doesn't need to be all the way cohesive, doesn't need to be all the way just like separate, but
we're gonna find
there's something going on.
It's the only one I saw twice in theaters.
We have Halloween Ends. That'll be later this year. Hocus Pocus 2 later this year. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
That's come out yet?
Yeah, that came out.
That's
a couple months
release
ago.
now.
Which one?
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent,
right?
Oh, yeah.
It's the Nicolas Cage.
I was talking about Halloween Ends.
Oh.
Yeah, and Hocus Pocus 2, I think, are later this year.
Yeah,
no, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, I put on the list because I wanted to ask you guys if, did anybody see it?
I almost rented it the other day.
I have,
but I
kind of
I'm going to decided to just wait for it to come free on streaming, whatever that is.
Black Adam, we talked about it. We will talk about it. Avatar, The Way of Water.
Can't wait.
Super pumped for that one.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
And then Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Anything else coming up in the more near immediate future you guys are excited for?
She-Hulk.
What's the date on that?
I don't know if they've given us a date.
I think it's probably going to be announced this week, I bet.
Yeah. Andor, end of August.
Andor, for sure.
Nice. Very nice.
That's the one I'm most excited for right now. Please be good.
All right. Plenty coming up. Plenty happening. We'll get some titles in here for the meet. Got a contest happening at mostlysuperheroes.com. Giving away a vinyl. We got a Super Smash Brothers tournament happening on July 22nd. With Tiny Superheroes and Well Spent. Go check it out at mostlysuperheroes.com. It's all happening there. We're all over the internet. Man, what a good time. That was a full episode, man. We brought in the news and rumors and the what you watching. I think we had like a total combined like 15 like titles in that segment, and I think we got through it all total in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It
was great.
Crushed.
So we're going to keep it going.
Stick with it.
I got to give a shout out to somebody that was supposed to be in the 4 seat today. And was in a little fender bender last night going to see the movie with you, Mikey, Mr. Mikey.
Sorry, Mike.
I had his what you watchings queued up. I mean, he was going to be here. We're going to get him in here again. He's okay. He's safe. But Danny P, thank you for literally same day. We appreciate it.
To the rescue.
Happy to do it.
To the rescue.
I hope Brother Mike is doing okay.
Yeah, he's good.
He was my date at our buddy's wedding a couple weeks ago. So we were both 2 single dudes, so.
Yep.
Very nice. Well,
he's a good dude.
We loved having you. Scotty Scoop, another good time, man. Why don't you give the squad a sign off and just a little goodbye until they see you next time.
It's another one in the books. The best one yet.
Best
Buy some
one.
merch.
Yeah, didn't you get some?
Get a shirt. I did. I do believe it. I think it was the bottom left one.
And Andy got a new shirt.
Yeah.
Got some new stuff for the event coming up.
Yes, sir.
Scotty or the Giggler. How about a little sign off there?
These new shirts are clutch. I love the material.
Bonfire.
It's amazing.
Mostlysuperheroes.com/merch. All sorts of great designs.
Yes. But I got to give a special shout out to my cousin Jesse's kids. They are frequent listeners of the show, Luke, Noah, and Thomas. So they'll definitely get a kick out of this. But what's up, dudes? Thank you for listening, and can't wait to see you guys again.
Wow, look at that. I'll give it up for some fans of the show. What's up, guys?
Yes. They are probably one of our youngest fans, but I'll have to watch what I say sometimes.
Let's get them some free merch. I'll send you home with some stuff, you know.
Aww.
You know, we can get them some swag in their hands.
Yes, they'll love that.
All right, Danny P. Where can people find you? Do you have any other podcasts coming up at all?
Nope.
This is the one.
Hopefully next month you can find me in Dallas if the move goes according to plan at this point. But
the listeners have really been along for your journey.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's back, and then right back out. But no, definitely like. St. Louis is home, so I'll be back a bunch, and I have a job where as long as I have internet, so I'll come back here for probably a couple different weeks and stuff. So if there's something Star Wars coming up, like it's not that far, I'll come back, hang out with the Rents for a week, and come film something with you guys if you'd have me back again. Otherwise, I can definitely do the kind of Skype in kind of thing. But always a good time, and thanks for having me again.
Hey, thank you. You said that whenever I asked you, like, what else you'd come in for, you said, whatever we need. And so I was like, hey, I need you today. And you showed up. So we appreciate it. Man, I appreciate all you guys showing up and joining the show. We got a lot more stuff happening. Events. The website's getting updated all the time. We got some new type of giveaways we're going to be bringing in. And a lot more stuff planned for the rest of 2022 and going into 2023. We're kind of blown away by the different avenues we've taken in the last just few months, and it's only going to get bigger and better from here. We're a small St. Louis podcast. We're having a good time. Got to give a special thank you to comicbook.com for lending us Adam Barnhardt earlier in the show. You guys had a very special treat with a surprise call-in, and we're going to keep bringing you fun guests like that too. So we'll keep doing it. It's all happening at mostlysuperheroes.com, and we'll see you next time. Take it easy.